The Rams and the Titans. The Rams win this game 33-19. Let's take a look at the top 5 graded players that we had for the Los Angeles Rams here. Edge rusher Byron Young, another 2 sacks in this one, 90.0 overall PFF grade. Tight end Davis Allen with an 89.4. Cornerback Quentin Lake with an 89.3. Wide receiver Devontae Adams an 82.2, and then wide receiver Puka Nacua an 81.6. Matthew Stafford, great start to the season for Matthew Stafford, a 78.5. He's one of the highest graded quarterbacks that we have in the NFL so far through 2 weeks. And then on Tennessee side of things, safety Xavier Woods with an 85.1. Rookie wide receiver Alec Iomaner with a 73.5. Offensive tackle Dan Moore Jr. a 70.5. Defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons a 70.0. And then cornerback Roger McCreary with a 67.2. Quarterback Cam Ward in this one, a 68.5, including one of the craziest, insane, no, oh my gosh, yes, touchdowns you're ever going to see with the, do I call that a goal line fade? Do I call that a goal line fade now?
Goal line fade away? I just call it Cam Ward. I mean,
because when you think about it, Alec Iomaner is going to the back pylon and catching it in the basket over his shoulder.
I'm it's funny. I'm probably the one person numb to it because I've seen him do it, either whether it goes good or bad, so many times, either at Washington State or at Miami, that I'm just like, oh yeah, that's Cam Ward, isn't it? Yeah, that sounds about right.
Stat that told the story here for you.
To me, it's a story of, and actually that play is a good embodiment of it, despite it going so well. A story of average time to throw and what to do when you get in those late plays and what is stable and what is unstable for a quarterback, right? You could not have a bigger contrast between Matthew Stafford and Cam Ward. And yes, Cam Ward made the one great play. That's his one big-time throw on the day, which, look, it's amazing. It's a great highlight. It's fun to watch. We're going to see it for the next 20 years. But when you look at average time to throw, Matt Stafford, and neither team, again, the Rams are in this type of game for the second straight week. Neither team pass protected well. The Rams offensive line is not playing great. The Titans offensive line is really not playing great. Matt Stafford, 2.55 second average time to throw. Cam Ward, 3.1 seconds. And then what they do later in those plays, and again, Ward made the one play, but not a whole lot else happened. 2.5 seconds or later on the dropbacks, okay? Matthew Stafford, 88 passing grade. Cam Ward, 57 passing grade. Yes, he made the one play, but it's an unstable style of football. And Matthew Stafford, as a veteran who's been around forever, knows what to do with his second and third read. I also think there were moments when Sean McVay, again with the play calling, protecting him from the offensive line, bootlegs, design rollouts, right, sprint outs, things like that just keep Matthew Stafford out of trouble, and he knows where to go from there. Look, Cam Ward, yes, it's fun to watch, and he's a gunslinger, and that's always fun to watch. But there is something to still being the veteran quarterback that has a process, a true structured process late in plays. That's what Matthew Stafford had here. And again, you have a game, the second straight game for the Rams, where that was the advantage for them. Mm-hmm. Neither team could pass protect in this game. Neither team, when they played Houston last week, could pass protect. But Matt Stafford knows how to work through it. Eventually, they're going to have to block better. No question against the contenders in the NFC. But Stafford has an idea and a veteran idea of how to work his way through that. That was, once again, the difference for the Rams and why they're 2-0 right now.
Yeah, and on the other side of things, I mean, the Rams' defensive line continues to eat. Through 2 weeks, 40 total pressures. It's 7th most in the NFL. 56.0 pass rush win percentage as a team that is 6th best in the NFL. Now, they have played what is probably the worst 2 offensive lines in the league. They played the Houston Texans, and they played the Tennessee Titans. So their season really doesn't start. Do they play the Eagles next? I think they play the Eagles next.
Didn't happen to see. Let's see.
Yes.
Oof.
They travel to Philadelphia. So
here we go.
We'll figure out what the defensive line really is because they get to go up against the Philadelphia Eagles, the offensive line next week. But for now, the stat that told this story is they continue to dominate. They're eating these bad offensive lines alive, and I think it's great to see for this young Rams defensive line. Byron Young has been the benefactor. He already has 3 sacks so far this season, which is great to see. My most impressive, I love the connection that Cam Ward and Alec Iomaner have already in this game. Of course, like I could shout out Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, but like those are a little bit more obvious. I'm shouting out these guys. Iomaner, 67.7 receiving grade this season, which is best on the team. So that connection between those 2 rookies is already there. And for as much as Calvin Ridley has, I think, one more target and one more catch than Alec Iomaner does, Iomaner has more first downs. So, and first down opportunities, he's been going to Iomaner a lot as well. So I love to see the rookie-to-rookie connection. Obviously, anybody who followed my draft work last year knows that I was a big Alec Iomaner guy. I think he lasted until the 4th round of this draft because I think teams get a little over cautious when it comes to some of those pre-draft injuries, because there was a little bit of like, ooh, is there an injury thing with Alec Iomaner? He's had some injuries before in his career, but he was fine. He came back and he played well at Stanford in his final season. It wasn't his best season, but he played fine on a bad football team. And so he's just too talented, and so it does not shock me at all. In fact, in the preseason, I said I'm not going to be shocked if he's wide receiver 2 on this team very, very quickly. He already is, and in some ways, he is their leading receiver when Cam Ward needs to make a play. Most disappointing, though, I agree with you on the guy that you wrote down, L'Jarius Sneed. This is somebody who I think the disappointing part about Sneed is not just the fact that he's not playing well this year. It's the fact that he didn't play last year as well. You traded a 3rd-round pick for him, and then you signed him to a 4-year extension. Fact of the matter is, all the guaranteed money is off of his deal at the end of this year. So you will have traded. The frustrating part about Sneed is that I felt like it was a bad process from the very beginning, because you traded for him in an era where you weren't really ready to win. Did he become the best player in your secondary, and did you make your football team better? In theory, yeah, sure, when you made the deal. But I think teams need to look at their winning windows more honestly, I should say. And what was the best case scenario? I mean, the team was never going to be where it needed to be with him under that contract. So you traded a 3rd-round pick for him to be on your team for 2 to 3 years where you're not even competing.
At the time, you still had Will Levis as your quarterback
right.
at the beginning
and
of last year.
And you didn't even know if, you were still in the, is Will Levis even a startable NFL quarterback at that point in time? So, I don't know. It's just, I understand that you want to make the roster as good as you can be. You want to give your guys a chance. But at the same time, this deal never felt like it was in line with where the Titans were. And I think that's the big issue for me about what it feels. Because Sneed is not having a great start to this year, and they could easily cut him and save, I think, $11 million on the cap next year. So, what's your thoughts?
I'm with you on that. I mean, it's about finding for the Titans a rebuilding team right now, finding your foundational pieces. Right? You mentioned Cam Ward. Is it Alec Iomater, Peter Skoronski, J.C. Latham, Tavondre Sweat, guys like that who are your foundational pieces, and you just never got the sense that Sneed. Now, had he come in and he was that number 1 corner and he's 27, 28 years old and he gets you there on defense, yeah, sure, but hasn't happened. Played a few games last year, didn't play well. Injuries kicked in, missed the rest of the season. Now he's not playing well now. It's tough. And that's the part where you go, well, sunk cost at that point. You do have to figure it out in the offseason, and now cornerback is just another position that this team needs to improve.
Anything else on this one before we move on?
Just want to point out Devontae Adams. I know you love some Puka Nacua, but don't forget about Devontae Adams now at a 100-yard game, 4 explosive catches. He can win those one-on-one battles still. And we talk about Sneed getting burned in this game. It was Devontae Adams who was the one burning him.
By the way, J.J. McCarthy has not a high ankle sprain, but just an ankle sprain, and will miss the game next week.
We've got this a ton of injury news that just dropped.
Yeah,
while we've been on. I mean,
the Panthers. We'll get to that in a second. But did you see Robert Hunt and Austin Corbett?
That's a mess.
Torn biceps and torn MCL.
I believe Aaron Jones might be out for Minnesota as well. Jaden Daniels has a sprained knee.
Yeah, I did see that.
Alex Highsmith has a high ankle. I mean, it's just. There's a lot of Cooper Beebe we mentioned earlier. There's a lot of injury news flying around right now.
We'll obviously cover all of that when we preview the games on Wednesday. So if we have already talked about the team where some injuries dropped, I mean, we will get to that on Wednesday. Make sure you guys don't miss that. Going live at noon this week. We normally go live at 1 p.m. We're going live at noon Eastern this week for that show.